Exactly 2 years and 11 months ago, my school found my self improvement YouTube channel. I was 14 at the time, and I'd been watching Hamza and a little bit of Andrew Tate and all those YouTubers like. And I thought, you know what? I want to make money online. I've made gaming videos in the past. Why don't I upload my own self improvement videos? And so I did. Though I was very, very scared of people finding them. And so what I did to make these self improvement videos was get my little phone and buy some little cheap, £10 tripod off Amazon. And I went and ran out into, not out into the normal woods, because I was that scared of someone seeing me record. I went out and ran out into the fucking fields and the countryside and found these like private woods there where there was supposed to be absolutely nobody because they were like private woods. And then went into some fucking like random little bush there and recorded my very, very first self-improvement video explaining my entire self-improvement journey. And for the next few days, I continued doing that. Going out there, recording videos, coming home, editing them, making them look all nice because I like making YouTube videos, and I'd upload them on YouTube, and then I'd get like some clipping software and make them into clips and put them on short form, and put them on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and all that shit. And I actually picked a fake name. The name of the woods I was in was called like Springwood. And so I called myself Sam Springwood, which is not my real name. My real name is Sam Walford. And that's sort of what I called myself. And it was only for like a week or so that I was uploading these videos and posting, the clips of them and everything. And I was speaking about how to get jacked and, all this casual self-improvement shit. And I really didn't know what I had in for me because it was about a week later. This was at the very, very end of year 9 in when I was in secondary school, I believe, the very end of the year. And I was actually off school sick at that time. Like, I was genuinely sick. Like, I don't know what it was. I was just sick. And I was at home and I was watching some like bullshit YouTube. And, I'm just watching my bullshit YouTube. And then I see like my phone light up, like a little notification on my phone. It lights up, and imagine I'm sitting at my desk and it's just there. And I see, pick it up. Oh, it's a message from my friend Alex. And he wasn't really my friend that much. He wasn't on self-improvement. I only had one friend on self-improvement at the time. Self-improvement was like quite a secret thing back then. Especially when you're 14, it's like you don't want to be seen going to the gym, at least not 3 years ago in my school. And he messages me being like, sorry, I didn't even see what the message was at first. I just see the notification and I was like, oh, okay, he's messaged me, I'm off school sick. He's probably saying about the schoolwork. And so I open up the message and he says, everybody is laughing at your TikTok. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thanks for letting me know. And I wasn't really that bothered. And the reason I wasn't really that bothered, well, because my TikTok was like 3 or 4 or 5 years old at that point. It was a little TikTok from when I was like in year 6 in primary school and shit, when I'd make these like Fortnite skits and like dancing videos and shit, bro. Um, and I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. And so I just messaged him back like, oh, is it my old one? And then he's like, no, the one from 3 days ago. And I'm about to tell you how I reacted. My explanation of my reaction is not an over-explanation in any means. This is physically what I actually did. I stood up with my phone in my hand, out of my little gaming chair, like half stood up, half crouched, and I just stared at my phone, and I just said, no, 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 exactly like that, over and over and over and over and over again. And I was there for a good fucking minute, bro. Just saying no, 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 to the point where my voice even started getting a little bit sworn at the end. And that was simply just because my life, as I knew it, was now over. The Sam Walford I thought I was back then, the Sam Springwood, sorry, the Sam Walford I thought I was no longer. I was now Sam Springwood permanently to everybody I knew, okay? And so what I do, I'm like, oh shit. So I go onto TikTok, and in the bottom right, I see like this little red dot with 2 numbers in. Those numbers are 99 plus, 99 plus notifications. That just sort of confirms what my friend's saying. And I was like, oh shit, bro, the worst has actually come to be. And so I click on that little red notification badge, and the final nail in the coffin, I see some girl at my school. Her name was Alayla, I think it was. And it was like, Alayla, whatever it was, like, shared or liked or commented your reel or some shit like that, bro. I'd never used TikTok before, and I've never used it since, so I don't really know how it works, but, that was just, like, the confirmation of it, and I was like, shit, bro. And so I click on my little profile photo, and at the top I see I've got like 2,000 or 3,000 followers or something mad like that. Keep in mind, I only uploaded these TikToks like a week ago. And I'm like, what the fuck? How have I got like 2,000 followers? That's just ridiculous, bro. And I scroll down, and I start seeing the videos. And the recent one's got like 50k views. Then it's like 100k views for the next one. Then like 300k views. 500k views. 800,000 views. And I keep scrolling down, and they've all, some have only got 2 views, and some have got like, 100,000 views. And then I see one fucking big daddy behemoth has got 3 million views. And I am like, what the fuck? And I click on that reel, and it's me just basically, I didn't realize at the time, but it's me basically speaking like a 14-year-old Andrew Tate with my glasses, looking all skinny in the woods, speaking about how you need to get jacked and shit.
There are so many boys in my school who are Jeffreys. They're fat. They don't exercise, they eat unhealthily, they probably fap like 5 times a day.
And I just panic, bro, and I don't know how to use TikTok. And I don't believe I googled how to private TikTok videos. I think I just went straight up and deleted them because I knew the kids in my school were probably downloading those videos as I was doing it. And so I was like, shit, bro, like, I didn't even really think, bro. It was more so instinct, and I just delete every single last one, take the account down, private the account and everything, and then it's gone. And I'm like, shit, my TikTok was linked to my YouTube. I need to take my YouTube down as well. And so I go on my YouTube. Unfortunately, I know how YouTube Studio works, and so I private all the videos. And I only had like 28 subs on YouTube at that point. The YouTube didn't blow up whatsoever, but I know some kids at my school had definitely seen, those videos and shit, because there were comments from them and everything on the videos, which were like 20 minutes old. And I take all the YouTube videos down, private the account, and I was like, shit, bro. I was put into flight and fight, and what happens after you go into flight and fight, after you're over, it's like your body just goes into like crazy rest mode, And so that's kind of what I did, and I just started watching some bullshit YouTube once again, and just went back to that, just coping and forgetting about the situation until a couple of hours later, I hear a little knock at my door, and I instantly know who it is. Because it's my dad. And because my dad knocks in that very, he's got a certain way of knocking, as all dads do. And so my dad knocks on the door, and I'm like, come in. And he comes in, and he sits down on my bench press. I've got a bench press in my room, and he sits down on the end of the bench press, which is kind of like half facing my desk, and so I'm like half turned in my chair. And he says, do you know why I'm here? And I respond to him, well, what do you know? And then he responds back to me, I know enough. And he explains to me, what he knows, how some kid at my school in my year, he'd gone and told my younger sister, who was 2 years younger than me, about my channel, and showed her my videos, and then she'd gone and told my parents, and then my dad was coming in to speak with me. And he wasn't angry. My parents are very, very understanding people, which I'm very, very grateful for. And he was just more so intrigued and interested, and wanted to safeguard the situation and everything. And so I explained to him what self-improvement was. He already knew I was working out. He already knew I was running. He already knew I had a gaming channel when I was younger. But he didn't really know about self-improvement. He didn't know about the girl that broke up with me that gave me the motivation to get onto self-improvement. He didn't know about Hamza and how I was watching Hamza. He didn't know about meditation. He didn't know about any of this stuff. And I told him it. And, he really understood. He really understood that it's I'm a young man and I want to improve myself. And that's really what self-improvement is. And he fully understood that. And, I was telling him, the YouTube is just kind of me doing what I genuinely want to do. It's I've always loved doing YouTube. I really, really have always loved doing YouTube, my gaming videos. I used to do vlogs and shit when I was younger. I remember I made this really bro, I remember when I was 9 or whatever, bro. I made this vlog playing hide and seek with my friends. I just hid in the fridge for an hour, and it's just an hour of dark video of me sitting in a fridge. That's all got taken down now. I accidentally put my age as 15 or whatever the fuck at one point, and then the account got restricted because you can't have a YouTube at that age apparently. But I'd always loved doing YouTube, man, and I told my dad that, and I was just straight up honest with him. I was like, Dad, this is what I want to do. School is all right, it's fun, but one day what I really want to do is I want to do YouTube, man. I want to make videos about this. I want to, go all in on this and actually spend my life how I want to spend it. And he was very understanding. Like he naturally understood that desire of mine. Now keep in mind, like my parents have always been like, I'll go to university, and it's like, always asking me, oh, what degree do you think you're gonna do in university? And at one point I was gonna be like an architect and like an engineer, and it's like I'm always like, as a kid, it's like they want me to go to university, and so I want to go to university. That's kind of how it was. But then it's like, I wasn't against going to university at that point, but it's just like I would prefer to do YouTube, be a YouTuber. And so that's why I started doing YouTube, and he was understanding. However, we then watched one of my videos together, and I was cringing like crazy at my own videos with my dad watching them, which is just natural. Because there was me standing there swearing like every third fucking word, fucking swearing all the fucking time, and it was fucking crazy. And and even now I swear way too much, man. I've got to stop it, bro. Literally my YouTube videos are getting age restricted because I swear too much and talk about crazy shit in them, and I really need to stop that, bro. But my dad was very understanding of why I wanted to do it. He was not understanding of how I was doing it. Basically emulating Andrew Tate as a little skinny 14-year-old wearing his glasses in the woods. And that's not to say I'm like the, god of self-improvement and everything now. I really don't have the fucking best physique, bro. I really don't work out much now. But I mean, by now I kind of have made it in online business, so I think I am qualified to talk about this in this way now. But he really wasn't understanding of the way my videos were because of the way I was speaking, and he was like, I'm happy for you to do YouTube. However, you need to make a new channel so nobody at school knows about it. And you also need to basically run all your videos through me and let him watch all my videos before I upload them. Because one thing I actually forgot to tell you just now is a big reason why everybody at my school cared so much. Is because I was talking about them in the videos. Not them specifically with names and shit. But like, I was talking about how everybody at my school is fat and lazy and how they don't care about life and, all that shit, bro. And I told my dad that I wanted to make like a hate video on them and like a response video. And I remember I actually did record this video at one point, bro. It's still in my files somewhere, man. Which was just like crazy. And then my dad was like, no way you're doing that. I think I'd already started making it that day, to be honest. And so we were like, oh, okay, I'll make some sort of chill video. I'll make a video about how like video games are bad. And so I did that. And then I was just swearing like crazy in that video once again. Maybe we can put a clip up.
You literally just have to put the fucking effort into it. There are so many people that don't give a fuck about their own lives, and that is kind of selfish because...
And I remember coming out, it was literally right here, like that tree you see behind me is very nicely... what's the word? What's the word for when you cut a tree down? I cannot remember, but the tree's very nicely like chopped by my dad. And I remember this was like 3 years ago, the summer then, and he was chopping it then because he always does it this time of year. And he was, what the fuck, what's the word for when you like chop a tree and you make it all nice and smooth like that tree there? I don't know, but he was doing that there, and I remember I came up to him, I was standing like right where I'm lying now. And I was like, hey, I've made this new video, like, can you have a look at it? Can you like, tell me if it's all good enough to upload? And yeah, he was like, yeah, sure. And so I remember I like played it out to him like out loud on my phone speaker. And within like 30 seconds, he was like, no, you need to completely like switch up, Samuel. Like, that is not how you do it. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, this is good, It really wasn't that good. Like, I was just swearing a ton and just being very arrogant as a 14-year-old. Which, not to say being arrogant is a bad thing, especially if you're trying to help people. Being arrogant, and not sort of showing weakness as a teacher is quite a good thing in my opinion. But I really was taking it too far, and props to my dad for pointing that out to me because he really helped me make a lot of progress in that much faster. And so I, go back inside, plan another video, probably next day or whatever. I make another one, edit the whole thing again, show it him. And I think at this point, actually, it was a day in the life video. And it was the 16th of July, I believe it. 16th of July, I think it was. Which is going to be in like 20 days or 21 days from now, I think. So, 3-year YouTube anniversary incoming, guys. What should I do for my 3-year YouTube anniversary? But, yeah, essentially... I made this video, day in the life video, ran it through my dad. It was like, yeah, that's all good. It's just showing you, day in the life and everything. I made some like weird fucking jokes in that video, like with a hot dog. But anyway, I made that, and then I remember I made another video. My second video was actually like one I recorded ages before. It was this like mental toughness challenge I had from this like online community I was paying like $50 a month for. called like Next Gen Network. I'm still actually connected with a load of the guys there, which is really nice. And so that was my second video. And then the third video, I think I was walking through the countryside, like speaking about my experience playing video games. And bro, when I went walking out the countryside, I made sure to do it on like a weekday where like nobody would be out in the fields. I remember there was this old man who saw me recording. I like shit myself, bro. Not literally, but like metaphorically, when he saw this old guy like saw me recording from like 300 meters away, bro. Because I was standing there with like a fucking big ass selfie stick and a microphone, mate, and my phone. And I was just so scared. Like, as soon as I saw him in the distance, because he'd already seen me, I like took everything down. But I started uploading consistently, and it was going decently well. And I started a Discord server, and I started getting people on the Discord server, and uploading consistently. And you know, there was ups and downs, and everybody at my school knew about it. And like, I really kind of cut everybody off my school off a lot. You know, I wasn't really friends with a lot of them at the start, but you know, it's. I went from not being friends to them to almost being somewhat enemies in a little way, because obviously I spoke a lot of shit about them in those videos, and the way I was kind of like positioning myself was like inherently against them, and so I understand that. And so I'd really just go to school, I'd ride my bike there, I'd literally like leave for school at the last possible minute so I could spend as much time in the mornings working on my videos. So I'd wake up early, work on the video, leave for school as late as I possibly could, go to school, and I'd just literally just go to school as fast as I fucking could, bro. And I'd get there and I would just not speak to anybody apart from like that one friend I had on self-improvement. His name was Jacob. And then there was like another friend I had called like Alex, but he wasn't really on self-improvement or anything. You know, it was just kind of like friends a little bit. And it was just kind of friends because it's like I don't really have anyone else to speak to, and it was like kind of sad being fully lonely. And literally, like, I would just go to my lessons, and then every break time and lunchtime, we would just sit in the fucking library, and I would just be working on my phone or reading, or maybe like speaking with them. When I was more locked in, I'd be reading or working, or if not, I'd be like speaking with them. And then I'd just go to my lessons again in the afternoon and then just go home. And like that was all I did. And I did that for like 2 years. Easy, yeah, 2 years like that in school, bro. And I grinded and I grinded. And in December, so this was like 5 months maybe after I started my channel, I started doing like self-improvement coaching in my Discord server. I just had the idea to be like, why don't I just message everybody asking if they want to buy a month of self-improvement coaching from me for like £50? And I did that. And I had like 50 people on the Discord server, or maybe like 150. It was somewhere around that. And I had like 2 guys say yes. It was Kuba, who was a Polish geezer from Sunderland in the UK. Big up the Polish. And then there was Tim, who was like a French-British guy. He was in like a boarding school in Toulouse. And I'm still good friends with both of them. I still speak with Tim very, very frequently. I met up with both of them like only 6 months ago or so, which is really, really sick. Like my first 2 ever clients. Those guys will go down in history as my first ever 2 clients. And that was in December. And then like I joined Hamza's program. Then with that money I made, I remember like I made a whole like sales pitch to my dad to like loan me the money for when Hamza like made like decrease the price in like a 24-hour sale or some shit like that. And then in like March and April, I hit like 2K per month then, which is like really, really sick. And then that summer of this is summer of 2024, because it was summer of 2023 I started the channel. Summer of 2024, after I hit 2K per month, I got really complacent, bro. I was like really comfortable with the money I was making. I was like, shit, bro, I finally made online business work. And then I got to a really big rut and got addicted to video games and like completely snapped my thumb. And I'm not going to give you the details of how I snapped my thumb, but maybe we'll fucking play the clip of how I did that. Bro, it was absolutely horrible what I did. It didn't heal for like 3 months or some shit like that, bro. And you know, the entire summer fucked playing video games with like a broken something. It wasn't even broken, bro. Like the whole ligament was just snapped it like completely. So it took ages to heal, and that entire summer I lost everything. But then the winter, that winter then of 2024, I sort of I quit business and like got into filmmaking and shit. But then start of 2025 again, this was like a little bit more than a year later, I got back into business and I hit like 2K, 2K or like 1.8K, I think it was. No, I think it might have been like 2.5K actually. In my like first month back into business, this was like March of 2025. And then I moved to like high ticket coaching and shit. And then this was like July of last year, so about a year ago, I dropped out of school, only making like 2K per month. And then that summer I made like a self-improvement documentary with the BBC, because they like got into contact with me. I like traveled Europe, met up with a load of my friends and shit, did like a load of cool shit, which was like really, really awesome that summer. And then come like this winter, because that honestly continued until like October, bro, to be honest, like that whole traveling season and filmmaking shit. And then come November, bro, it was time to lock in again. And in November, I made like 2K or something like that. And then in December, I made 8K. In January, I made 12K. And then that just continued and continued. And then in May, I made 25K. Since then, I've invested like $40,000 in mentorship. This month, I mean, today might end up being a $7,000 day, which is kind of crazy. I actually need to have a fucking sales call soon, so I need to check when that is so I don't miss it, bro. And yeah, bro, it's like shit is going crazy. Like my clients are just getting mad results. By the way, I now help self-improvement coaches to make their first 2K per month online. Yeah, I still got like 9 minutes until that sales call. And the reason I'm telling you this whole story, bro, because, you know, life's pretty sick now. Like, I'm going to continue scaling up the business for the next month. So I'm still living at home with my parents, bro. I've told myself I can't move out until I hit 30K a month. And I'm still living at home with my parents right now. And I do really, really need to go traveling and need to see the world a bit more, and that's what I'm going to be doing this August. I'm going to be going out and traveling a fuck ton more, bro. It's the first time since like October, man. Like I ain't spoken to a girl since October. I've just been locked in, bro, since October, man. It's summer now, and it's like I'm getting sun, bro. But it's like you know, it's just sad being at home, man, in the fucking UK, and it's like, you know, UK's nice with good weather, to be fair. But anyway, you know, I'm going to go do traveling and shit. And then in August and September, I'm moving in with a load of my clients in a penthouse in Albania. We're calling it the Fast Lane House because my program's called the Fast Lane. And they're all guys who are doing like self-improvement content who were basically maybe exactly like you, where they were like really not getting any results with content. They really couldn't make it work. And I've now got them all to like, you know, roughly like 2K per month making money online, and all dropping out, all like moving in together in this penthouse in Albania. It's gonna be fucking awesome, bro. And it's like, I've got purpose now. I'm helping people. Like I'm doing online business in a really fucking purposeful way and actually helping people. Like, comments don't bother me at all. And actually, I quite like getting like hate comments because they allow me to make points for videos like this, and you know, they're quite interesting to get people's perspective. But I'll often get comments being like, no, one I got so much was like, I think someone just spammed those comments on loads of different accounts. Was like, step one to making 25K a month, tell everybody you make 25K a month and try and sell them a product. And it's just interesting seeing people's perspective like that on like making money online, because like everybody's got this perspective that it's got to be this whole horrible scammy thing. But like for me, making money online, it's like, well, firstly, my original business was like helping guys to get on self-improvement, and I really changed a load of lives doing that with my videos back then. And now it's helping guys to help other guys to get on self-improvement, you know, coaching coaches. And honestly, there's coaches coaching coaches. It's not really a bad industry, man. Like, to be fair, as a whole, it is a pretty shitty industry, but there's a lot of good people within it. And if people, I'm not even going to get into that anyway. That's just me trying to fucking, you know, show off my, flex my ego that I actually get people results. But, anyway, the reason I'm telling you this story, bro, is because I just kind of want to show you that this shit is possible. Like, when at 14, I was just a normal kid with a dream, and I have just relentlessly followed this dream for the past 3 years, and it has worked. Like, if you continue doing it, there's no reason it's not going to work. Well, that's not actually true, to be fair, because on the opposite side of that, if you continue doing the wrong things, as you might have been doing, then it's not going to continue working. If for the past 3 years you've been doing it and it ain't worked out, you're probably doing something pretty wrong. But besides that, like, the point I'm making to you, bro, is this shit is really possible. It is ridiculous. Like, in November, when I made $2,000, I wouldn't have thought I would be making like 25K a month now. But here I am, you know, doing a $7,000 day, potentially, hopefully. I already got one piff. Another guy's supposed to be paying today. And then, there's another sales call I got now with a guy who's like really, really down. And that's my sales call. But we still got a little bit of time. We still got 5 minutes. But yeah, the point I'm making, bro, is this shit is like really, really fucking possible. And I don't want you to be like, oh, you know, it's so hard. It's such a long journey. Because at the end of the day, man, like, you know, 2K per month, it's literally like $2,000 sales, you know? And for $1,000 sales, that's like 15 sales calls. Like, if you can get 15 sales calls booked and you kind of know what you're doing, that's all it really fucking takes to make money with self-improvement content. And if you're not doing self-improvement content, then you're probably not really on the right channel. But the other little lesson I've kind of also realized is like pain is not a bad thing. Like, to achieve your goals, it's not about going out there and externally achieving the goal. Like in a story, it's about becoming the person who can overcome what he needs to overcome to go and achieve the goals. Like in any story arc, the deeper story is the character becoming he who can. And to become a he who can, you need to overcome your own internal pitfalls and your own internal problems and shit. And to overcome those internal problems, you really do need to go through a lot of pain, really. And I've kind of boiled this down to there being like two types of pain in a way. And there's the good pain of progress, and there's the bad pain of regret. Now, the bad pain of regret is the pain you feel when you fap and you watch porn, and then the next morning you wake up like just before school and you can't get any work done in the morning, and it's just a really fucked up feeling. That's the pain of regret. That's the pain of regret, just horrible, okay? That is not a good pain. The other type of pain is the pain of progress, and this is the pain you feel when you're in the gym pushing hard, when you're in the cold plunge, in the cold shower, when you're doing the work. That's the pain of progress, and the pain of progress is necessary, because 50% of your life is always going to be below the median. 50% of your life is always going to be below, not the average, but below the median. And so with that in mind, like, the more pain you kind of go through, the more good pain, though, that's the thing, the more good pain you go through, the better things are. Like, I really didn't want to record this video, to be honest, but here I am, I recorded it, and now I've made a video for you, and I've dropped some value, and I've told you my story, and, you know, now I've been able to help you out. And so my message to you, my lesson to you, bro, is that this shit really is possible. You really can help people while making a lot of money, and even if it's painful, and even if you're going through a fuck ton of anxiety, it's fine, because, bro, a week ago, I was going through a ton of anxiety because I hadn't broken profit margins for this month yet. I was still in the red for this month. And then, like, shit's just completely changed. And it's like, you know, I'm getting, like, 3 piffs today, bro. You know, 3 painfuls. And I've already got, like, loads of deposits and payment plans over the next few days. Just because, like, shit just changes like that, bro, you know? It's like you do all the inputs and the outputs just take a long time to come through. Now, that doesn't mean you should carry on doing something that isn't working. And if you are uploading self-improvement content and that shit isn't working, I highly, highly recommend you go and click the link in the description and watch the video there. That is a little, not a sales page, because I'm not even really selling you something, but a little page which is explaining my offer. To essentially get you to $2,000 a month with a pay and results offer. I promise you, even if you don't book a call with me, that video will completely and utterly blow your mind. And so I really, really recommend you go and watch that video. That'll be the second link in the description. Now, the top link in the description is the $1,000 protocol, which is my entire course for completely and utterly free. There is an email and phone number sign up for it. However, it is completely fucking free. And that teaches everything you need to do to start making money with self-improvement coaching and self-improvement content. I highly recommend you go click that. If you don't want to click any of my links, that is no pressure whatsoever. However, I would appreciate if you could subscribe so that you can see more videos like my own. But that is that for today. Have an amazing day, bro, and bye-bye.